Our luck is changing in the next month and a half, so let's go over the astrology to see kind of everything that we can expect, because honestly, there's a lot of different transits that are playing into this. The first being that Jupiter moves into Cancer on June 9th. Now, Jupiter represents our luck. That's part of the reason that all of this has happened. With Jupiter moving into Cancer, we're going to see a new season because it's in a new sign, so a new season of luck. Before we get too far into the video, the way that I look at luck is it's more of a neutral thing. It's like the stuff that's out of our hands. It's within the spirit's hands. It's within the world. Stuff that happens that determines our luck. The big turning points in our story where we're like, that was a defining moment. We can look back one day and be like, wow, my story changed right there. This is what I did with it. So if we note for the next about month and a half that there's going to be some things coming up where our story is changing, now you get to see it and interact with the changes as you would need to. Okay, cool. So that's the first one. Jupiter moves into Cancer June 9th. Then on June 11th, we've got a full moon in Sagittarius ruled by the Jupiter that just moved into Cancer, which is honestly sort of crazy. That moon, especially because it's going to be connected, Cancer stuff is going to be, the moon stuff is going to be connected to the lunar nodes. There's going to be some big transitions that ground and or are revealed. This is a moon to not put up a shield. What is it that I need to see? Okay, let it be. Let me move in it then. Again, that's June 11th. Then we have the solstice on June 20th, which ushers in Cancer season. And the solstices, summer or winter, depending on the hemisphere that you're in and the time of the year, are these really big turning points. So we've got Jupiter moving into Cancer, a big turning point. The full moon in Sagittarius ruled by the Jupiter in Cancer, another kind of revealing of a turning point. That full moon is going to help to inform us, okay, when Cancer season gets here, this is what I could expect. This is what's coming up. So the solstice comes in, we've got a big turning point, a big turning moment, and then we're going to start to move in the luck. Okay, cool. I'm down for that, honestly. I'm about it. And then June 25th, we have a new moon in Cancer, which is also going to be with the Jupiter. Who is excited? Clearly, obviously me. And then that whole entire moon cycle is going to be involved with the luck of the new moon. Now, by the time that we get to the full moon in Cancer and we get to Sagittarius season, Jupiter will be retrograde. So we'll be looking back on this basically next month and a half, where we have the new moon in Cancer, we've got Cancer season coming, Jupiter moving into Cancer again, the full moon is Sagittarius. Okay, we're going to be looking back at this time, coming towards the end of the year 2025, and we're going to be able to see, wow, that's what I did with my story. So the story is changing now. We have characters changing, the season is changing, the plot lines are changing, so kind of pay attention to the things that are rearranging, and Jupiter likes to enter into our world in like really small ways sometimes. One of the things that my spirits say is that every decision is a provision. Every decision you make could turn into something really, really big. That's part of the fate weaving work that I do. So with the tiny turns, just a little bit here, a little bit there, notice if you feel that they're important in this season, because we could get to the end of the year and you could realize, wow, that changed a lot more than I thought. It's like meeting the right place at the right person at the right time, and you're like, wow, had that not happened, I never would have been in this chapter. I never would have done this thing that's over here. That's the kind of luck that's showing up in this next month and a half. And because we have the story changing and it's connected to the lunar node, Mercury is going to be in Cancer for this full moon that's coming, which is ruling over the south node in Virgo. So we've got this really, really big grounding of things that are happening that are helping us with our long-term goals. Jupiter with its targets, sometimes they're right up in front of our face, sometimes they're way, way out there, okay? And sometimes they're in between. This is going to be a mixture of all the different lengths of time. Stuff that's happening directly in front of us, stuff that's happening a ways out. So if there's stuff that you're trying to figure out, okay, how's my story going to change? What's the new stuff that's coming in? Pay attention to the little tiny seeds that Jupiter's bringing to you in this season. Here's a tiny little turn. Here's a tiny little turn. Time to learn about it. Time to build the skill. Time to hire, because higher education has to do with Sagittarius. It's like, go learn, go on the adventure, go take the turn, be adventurous. Jupiter Sagittarius is a little bit of a risk taker, but if it's a calculated risk, then you know what? I say go for it. Go for it. Deserve for yourself, but that's kind of how I move. So it is as it is. All right. Part of this luck also is going to be for spiritual practitioners and or people who have been moving within the transitions. You've been looking to make transitions. Usually they go together. You learn spiritual lessons in the transitions, or you're transitioning. There's a lot of different things, the altering of things, the willing of things. Okay, that's Neptune related, Pisces related. Because we're talking about the moon and Sagittarius and Cancer stuff, it would be amiss if I didn't bring up the fact that Saturn and Neptune are going to start to be within a degree of each other as all of this is happening. So keep up the consistency with your work, because the more that you are consistent and remain consistent with the transitions, the more the spirit is going to be able to bring you, oh, here's the new thing. Oh, here's the new vision. Oh, here's the new. It's for you. And when we get to eclipse season, come September, the turning points that are happening now are going to feel far more important than maybe you thought they were. Like sometimes we're blinded for a reason, okay? Sometimes if you knew how important it was, you might shy away from it. You might be like, actually, you know what? Let me not take that step because I can see what it's going to turn into. this season, we don't see what the luck is turning into until we get to the next eclipse season on like a big scale. Probably there's gonna be a lot of stuff that changes that's like really unexpected. So I really hope that it's gonna turn in your favor. One of the things I've learned about Jupiter, working with Jupiter, is that if you go back to the origin of things, right? Okay, so especially if it comes to relationships, if you see kind of the first initial interaction of you and another person, what was your intention? Why were you there? How did you react? What was their intention? Why were they there? How did they react? If you can see those tiny little twists and turns, a lot of the time you can see what's gonna grow. You know, the whole entire tree comes out of the seed, which means that the structure and like the DNA of it, the plan of it is already there, but it's how you nurture it and how you put energy into it that determines like how fast it grows and what, you know, the velocity, what all the determines of that stuff, the growth of it. Crazy. Seed magic is wild to me. It's wild. We're also going to have on June 24th, the sun is going to be conjunct with Jupiter in Cancer. So more clarity and revealing kind of right before that new moon that's happening in Cancer. So you could also look at where Sagittarius is in your chart, Sagittarius, Jupiter, and ninth house stuff. If those areas of your life in the coming month and a half have turns, those tiny little turns, the seeds, right? Okay, pay attention. Okay, note it. Something new happened. It was a new person. I brought something new into my life. The new stuff, okay? We've probably already been experiencing a lot of clearing. What the heck has been the previous, 6 months? There's been a lot of death and destruction and, get rid of it energy, okay? We also right now are experiencing a Pluto retrograde, so we're getting to harvest things that are, already built up within our contracts, and we're in the time of rebinding. This is, really lucky. Pluto's like, yeah, you want to get out of that contract? You want to start something new? Okay, go ahead. Okay, yeah. I guess that's fine. That's wild. So let the luck turn. And when the luck turns, we have new things to learn. That's a part of Sagittarius and Jupiter. So if you notice those tiny little turns that are happening, the seeds that are being given to you, and you're like, actually, you know what? I do want to learn about this. Actually, you know what? That feels like something that I'm interested in. That's a pretty good indicator that that's a direction that's going to be probably good for you. Especially if it's connected to things that you're already working on creating and already working on manifesting, and or want the opportunity and offering to be able to go and create and manifest. So gratitude, reverence, and love to you. Keep up the brew. Keep doing what you do. If you want to mark those dates down, just know that probably there's going to be some turning points that happen on those days too. Astrology is exact and precise for a reason. Sometimes there's stuff within spirit that happens outside of the astrological dates. We can't always predict everything. We can't always say it's going to happen right here, right then, right now, But sometimes those astrological dates, it's like, oh, maybe, probably, possibly. So if you want to look at those dates or just kind of keep an extra eye out for the luck that's turning on those, is probably a good idea. Okay, just keep your eyes open on them. So that's it. Gratitude, reverence, love to you. Keep up the brew. Keep doing what you do. I will too. I'm excited for the season of luck to change. I think it's going to be really good. Yeah. And that's kind of it for this one. I'll talk to you soon.